All right, next question is from Dean Boyk. He asks, how does cold versus heat affect my bands? That's a great question. So the bands, as we know, are the engine of the slingshot. They are what makes the slingshot perform. And heat and cold vastly affect the performance of bands. Now, we live in the heyday of modern slingshots. We've got great latex that can withstand cold. So heat really doesn't affect the band's performance in a negative way. Conversely, it actually makes the bands a lot faster. If you understand the nature of latex, which has been covered in lots of other topics, but let me just give you the quick lowdown. So when we stretch out these bands, by stretching it, there's a process called hysteresis, which is the internal friction between the molecules inside the latex, and that creates heat. And the latent heat that's inside the bands allows the bands to retract to their relaxed position. And it's that quick retraction that gives the slingshot its speed, its ability to send a projectile downrange. Now, cold really does affect bands. Modern slingshot latex is not affected as much, but as the temperature plummets, and with modern slingshot latex, let's say anything below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and what would that work out to be? Around 18 to 22 degrees C. I probably got that terrible there, right there. Shame on us for not adopting the metric system. But once it gets cold, the bands, that latent heat that is stored within the bands from the hysteresis, that internal friction, is given up very quickly because you've got the colder atmosphere around the bands, moving that heat out of the bands and into the atmosphere, thereby reducing the band's ability to retract as quickly. So if you're shooting in the cold, of course you'd want to use a modern slingshot elastic that is more cold resistant, like SimpleShot Black. There's lots of other ones on the market as well. But more importantly than that, you want to pay attention to that old adage of aim long, aim wrong. By holding the bands at full extension in cold weather, you're giving those bands a lot of time to lose that latent heat that's left over from the hysteresis process, which allows them to snap back to their relaxed position quickly. So if you're going to shoot in the cold, keep your bands warm. You can keep them folded up in your hands, and make sure that your shots happen quickly. We've got some other videos out there that go into this in greater detail. Be sure to check them out. But great question, common question. Thanks for that one.